What is up, everyone? My name is Jack Southall, back again with another review, and today I am here with my NXT TakeOver WarGames 2018 review. And yeah, let's just get right into it. I was going to do a big, NXT was so good, and it just keeps, shocking me how good it is, because what's the point anymore? You know it. You already know it's great. Let's just talk about it. So, we were planning to have 4 matches on this card, but we ended up getting an extra match added, which was Matt Riddle, the King of Bros, taking on Kassius Ohno. Now, they were originally meant to have a match on next week's NXT, but instead they just said, fuck it, let's have the match here. Matt Riddle actually came out and cut a promo on the crowd and says, Kassius Ohno, you talked a big game on the pre-show of this event, so how about you come down here and we'll have our match right now. And so Kassius Ohno accepts, and he taunts him and says, you know what, I bet I'm going to knock you out in seconds flat, because Kassius Ohno, throughout the last couple of weeks on NXT, or the last few months on NXT, he's been knocking people out left, right, and center, beating people in really quick fashion. So what happens in our opening match here? Matt Riddle kicks him knees him right in the face, pins him, and that's the end of the match. I'll check to see how long this match actually went for. The match actually went for 7 seconds. 7 seconds. That's probably the quickest match in NXT history. It'd have to be up there. It'd have to be one like a record or something like that. But I can't really judge the match, because it wasn't really a match. It was just a nice showcase for Matt Riddle to get his first NXT TakeOver match, and he did it in very, very, very strong fashion, beating Kassius Ohno in 7 seconds, a guy that's been beating a lot of people in the months building up to this show. So yeah, Matt Riddle, a great moment for him. Wouldn't say it was a great match, because it wasn't much of a match. But Matt Riddle wins, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do on NXT, man. 2019, he's going to be a big player, that's for sure. So, after that, we had our first proper match of the night, and it was the 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Women's Championship. It was Shayna Baszler versus the Pirate Kairi Sane, and this was honestly such a great match to kick off the show. It was very quick, but you know what? I was okay with that. I mean, it was only an 11-minute match, but for what they did in those 11 minutes, they did a lot, and it didn't feel like they were cramming in too much in that 11 minutes. It ended up looking very well. So, Shayna's friends come out. I think their names are Jesse, and I don't know who the other chick's name is. It starts with the letter M, but I can't really think of it at the moment. And they're trying to take out Kairi Sane, which, because of them, helps out Shayna Baszler getting her the tap out and gain the first fall. And I do like how Shayna is stooping to the point of getting her friends to help her win her battles. But Kairi Sane was always able to push through those obstacles, and she ended up getting the second fall. There was a bit in the match. Shayna was going for a suplex on the side of the apron, but then while she's got Kairi in the air, she reverses it into a DDT, which was a big spot, one of the nastiest spots of the night. But that was the nastiest spot so far, because once we get into the WarGames match, oof, got plenty of nasty spots to talk about. Then she hit an elbow drop on all the women outside, and then she gets the second fall. So it's all one apiece. And I was saying, Kairi Sane, she needs some backup if she wants to get that third fall. And thankfully she did in Dakota Kai and Io Shirai. Io Shirai did an awesome moonsault to the outside. But even then, that wasn't enough, because Shayna rolls her up and almost choking her a little bit in the way she was rolling her up to retain the NXT Women's Championship. I really enjoyed it. It was quick, but it didn't feel super quick, and it didn't feel like they were cramming too much in that 11 minutes, which I really liked. It was spaced out very well, and to do that in 11 minutes is actually quite remarkable, especially in this day and age where the typical great match is usually around the 25-minute mark. So for them to do something like that in 11 minutes was really good. I had a lot of fun watching that match. I'm pretty sure the Shayna Baszler Kairi Sane thing is over. I'm not so sure if Kairi Sane's going to get called up to the main roster, and she will be the 5th person added on the SmackDown women's team at Survivor Series. They could definitely go down that route, but yeah, I'm not sure. Shayna's probably going to face someone new. I hope she faces Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. That would be really awesome, and that could be at the next one in January, and then the one before WrestleMania, she can face Io Shirai for the title. So that would be really awesome to see. But that's just a few ideas I have in my head. Anyway, NXT will find a way to make it exciting. But then afterwards, we get Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano. A more darker approach to Johnny Gargano. He's a lot different than he was even like at the last TakeOver. He's so in denial and thinks what he did was really good. Like, he's even high-fiving the fans and still thinking everyone loves him and stuff, despite the fact that he's kind of become everything he hates, in a way. He's become, like, just as bad as Tommaso Ciampa, because that feud just fucked him up so much. It reminds me of, in Impact Wrestling, I think it was this year or last year, the feud between Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards, when Sami Callihan like hit Eddie Edwards in the eye with a bat and like really fucked up his eye, and that like really just ticked off Eddie Edwards, and the feud got so intense that Eddie actually turned heel from it, and like Tommy Dreamer had to like calm him down and everything like that. But yeah, so just Johnny Gargano has gotten completely he's gone to the dark side, all right? He's against the good side of the force, some shit like that. And yeah, this match was just fucking fantastic. Just watching, Aleister Black had a great series of offense at one point in the match where he was just, jumping from the second rope and kicking the shit out of Gargano. It was great. And there was an awesome bit where Gargano does that backflip into a sitting position, and then Gargano just runs in and just kicks him in the face. This was such a hard-hitting match, which just really made it, the story aspect, like so much better. Because yeah, Aleister Black is going to be very hard-hitting against the guy that basically took him out of the NXT title match and cost his shot at a rematch for the NXT title, because Gargano got so obsessed with wanting to beat Champa that he would stoop just as low as he would to get a go at him. So Gargano ends up throwing Aleister Black into the second turnbuckle, and just when he does that, he just gets a bit of an evil grin on him. Like, even his like logo that he has is like a little, like, it reminds me a lot of Venom and Carnage from Marvel Universe, and it's just so cool. And Black is sitting down, and he asks Johnny Gargano, give me your best knee, show me what you got. And it was such a badass moment. Aleister Black is one of the most badass people on NXT. He like hit him with a knee while in midair. That was probably the spot of the match for me. But Gargano full on plays Aleister Black, because there's a moment where he's like, he sounded genuine and sounded like the old Johnny, where he's asking Black, look man, just end me, okay? Just kick me in the head. I don't want to do this anymore. But then, psych, he reverses and puts him into his like submission hold that he does. But how this all ends is, Aleister Black gets a couple of kicks in. He hits 2 Black Masses on Johnny Gargano, pins him, and wins the match. Fantastic showing. A fantastic showing between these two guys. Aleister Black's storytelling, and so was Johnny Gargano's, was so fucking good. It was so hard hitting. It was exactly what it needed to be because of just how intense the feud had gotten and just how different Gargano is compared to what he was, and Aleister Black wanting to get his revenge for basically costing him another shot at the title. So, yeah, the storytelling aspect was great. The in-ring aspect was fucking excellent. So many hard-hitting moments and just so many kicks and like catches in midair and all that stuff. It was just fantastic shit overall. So yeah, thumbs up to that match. And afterwards we get the NXT Championship match between Tommaso Ciampa and the Velveteen Dream. And also, if you watched my predictions video, I was talking about, God, I hope Velveteen Dream comes out in a sick outfit. And he did. He came out in an NWO Hogan inspired gear. He's got like the Hollywood Hogan like bandana on and stuff like that because this was in Los Angeles, so he wanted to rep Hollywood. And yeah, man, this was just it felt like a lot like the previous match between Gargano and Aleister Black. However, I feel like this one was less about like crazy flips and like cool kicks and shit. It was more of the entertainment side of things. Like even the bit where like Champa takes off Velveteen Dream's bandana, and I thought he was gonna like spit on it or like rip it up, but no, he just took it from him. So Velveteen in return takes the NXT Championship because that's what's important to Champa, and that just sets off Champa. And like I think he knees Velveteen Dream in the corner, and Velveteen Dream's selling was fantastic in this match. He does it so well, and like throughout the entire thing, and just even all the nods to Hulk Hogan as well, doing the hulking up and hitting the leg drop on him and like pinning him. By the way, these near falls were crazy. They were absolutely crazy. Like the thing is with Velveteen Dream, he was embracing all of like his nostalgia, like a bit of Hogan, and then he locks in the figure four like Ric Flair, and then Velveteen at one point even suplexed Ciampa over the ropes, which was a great spot. And yeah, just numerous near falls all over the place, especially with Velveteen Dream. Like Dream even kicked out of the powerbomb backbreaker by Tommaso Ciampa, and like he even gets thrown over the announce table. But how this match all ended though was Velveteen Dream hits the elbow drop from the top rope, and the crowd is going crazy at this point because they're like, oh shit, Velveteen Dream's gonna win it and all that stuff. And even I was for a second like, oh my god, they're gonna give the belt to Velveteen Dream. And then Ciampa gets hung up on the ropes, and he's half of his body is like outside on the apron, and so it looks like Velveteen Dream is going to hit the top rope elbow drop while he's in that position, but Ciampa moves, and Velveteen Dream just falls onto the outside padding, and his elbow really cops it, and then right afterwards, Tommaso Ciampa hits the DDT, like the double underhook DDT thing, on the steel that's connecting the two rings together to retain his championship. Just wow. Like, my god. Two of the best characters in NXT right now. Tommaso Ciampa, easily heel of the year, just a cold, heartless piece of shit almost, but he's just so good at what he does, and he does whatever it takes to win the championship, but he doesn't do it in like an underhanded way. He doesn't have to cheat to win. Mostly, he just does it in such a like shocking way, the way he wins matches. Like he will hit his big DDT on the steel or just on the outside or anywhere where he can. And then you have someone like Velveteen Dream who's just so flamboyant and is just oozing charisma and very colorful and all that stuff. But yeah, it was just a great contrasting of styles for me, and Tommaso Ciampa retains the NXT Championship. What's next for Tommaso Ciampa? Honestly, I do not know. I don't think he's going to be facing Velveteen Dream again, although if he does, I'm not complaining. But I feel like they should add a stipulation to the next match if they are going to go down that route. As for if he's going to face Johnny Gargano again, he could. Maybe they can do a thing where like DIY reunites for a bit, and then Gargano finally comes to his senses and realizes, yo, what the fuck am I doing? And beats up Ciampa, and they can have their final match for the NXT title at the TakeOver before WrestleMania, which will be the night that Gargano finally wins the NXT title. And because another thing I forgot to mention about the Aleister Black Gargano match is that right afterwards, Aleister Black says, "You are washed of all your sins." So does that mean Gargano finally comes to his senses at the next NXT tapings or something like that? Who knows for now? That will have to wait until the NXT television show. So then we get to the main event, the big match, the WarGames match. It's 4-on-4 this year, not 3 teams of 3. It's just 4-on-4. It is all 4 members of the Undisputed Era taking on Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and the War Raiders. And last year's match was chaotic, and this one was just as chaotic, if not more. Well, the beginning really wasn't. When it started off with Adam Cole and Ricochet, it was pretty standard, mostly, and then O'Reilly came in because they got the upper hand after O'Reilly won his match on NXT. And then it was really interesting because when Hanson and Rowe were introduced in the match during their intervals, they were like pushing aside Pete Dunne. So I'm not sure if there's a bit of tension between the team, like if Pete Dunne and War Raiders have something to say, but I'm not sure, man. There was a shooting star off of Hanson's back, like Ricochet jumped off of Hanson's back and then did a shooting star. Just how fucking talented is Ricochet, man? My God. However, it wasn't until Bobby Fish entered the match that I feel like this started to really pick up. Because when he was getting ready to go into the ring, he stopped and realized, Pete Dunne's still in his cage. And so he gets his lock and then locks the actual chain so that he doesn't get out. And so, yeah, Pete Dunne is basically trapped, and then he like pulls his arm and like pulls him into the cage, and like he hits his head on it and shit like that. And so Pete Dunne's meant to come out, but he's still trapped inside his cage. So all the officials and stuff had to get bolt cutters out to get him out of the cage and all that. And so he's coming out of his cage and he's doing just fine. And then right afterwards, he looks under the ring and just grabs a bunch of weapons because Bobby Fish, when he got into the ring, he grabbed a bunch of chairs with the Undisputed Era logos on them, and they all just kicked the shit out of Ricochet and War Raiders team with the chairs and stuff. So Pete Dunne comes in and he throws some trash cans in, grabs some tables, and it just starts getting chaotic from there. I think a few Singapore canes and shit. Like, this is when it starts getting really good. And like Ricochet like dives off the top rope onto most of the members of Undisputed Era, and like he just goes after Kyle O'Reilly's fingers. And the reason why he was kept in the cage so long, I think he has like a foot injury at the moment, so they wanted to keep him out of the match for as long as possible, so he didn't really get hurt and stuff like that, which, you know, fair enough. And a nice little callback moment I liked, because at last year's WarGames match, O'Reilly went to hit someone with a chair, but the chair rebounded and smacked him in the head. But this time, it rebounded, but it didn't hit him in the head this time. But unfortunately, he got Ricochet drop kicked the chair into his face, so it wasn't that good for O'Reilly. And they just did I remember 2 of the members of Undisputed Era did like a brutal submission hold to Pete Dunne. Like, one of them was in like a Boston Crab, and the other guy was like pulling his head back with a chair or something like that. It was really brutal. Bobby Fish speared Rowe through the table, set up between the rings, and Hanson splashes O'Reilly through a table, and then there was just this big super duperplex thing where like Adam Cole was on the top of the cage, and then just everyone decided to go for a big superplex moment. Everyone just falls down. It was quite insane, I have to say. That was until Ricochet decided he had to take the spot of the night. Because that's basically Ricochet. He is the living spot of the night. He gets on top of the cage and does 2 moonsaults in a row and lands on everyone. Holy shit. And then there is this awesome moment where Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders are on one side of the cage, and all the members of the Undisputed Era are on the other ring, and then they both teams stare down at each other, and then they get in between the rings and they're staring at each other, and they just go after each other. They slug it out. It was really awesome. And then the final bit of the match came when Pete Dunne and Ricochet hit their finishing moves on Adam Cole. Both of them pin Adam Cole, and they win the match for their team. It was a fucking incredible match. I have to say, I think I like this more than last year's TakeOver WarGames. Last year's was really, really damn good, but I think this one may have topped it. I might have to go back and watch that WarGames match from last year, but damn, this was just fantastic shit. Just Undisputed Era trying to make the odds uneven for Ricochet, Pete Dunne, the War Raiders by locking in Pete Dunne, but then Pete Dunne fighting his way through and being able to get into the cage and just cause absolute chaos was just really awesome. And the show ends with Dunne and Ricochet holding their respective titles on the cage, and that's how we end the show. My match of the night, oh god. Can I just pick this entire show as match of the night? I guess I'm gonna have to pick, for me, I'd have to say, for me personally, it was Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. I loved the NXT title match. I loved the WarGames match, and I even loved the 2 out of 3 falls match. But I just loved the storytelling that was told between Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black, and the build up for it, and just Aleister Black has some of the best matches on NXT, man. Along with Johnny Gargano, he has had an amazing 2018. So just the storytelling aspect, and just how hard hitting it was, and just everything having a meaning to it, which is what we're missing on the main roster, meaning to big moves and all that shit. So yeah, spot of the night has to go to Ricochet jumping off the top of the cage, doing 2 moonsaults and landing on everyone. It was fucking crazy. How I'm going to rate this show, this was a fantastic show. I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10. It was fucking awesome. Nothing bad to really say about this show. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this review. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your opinion on NXT TakeOver WarGames 2018, and if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. You'll be glad you did. Twitter and Instagram's at JackalmanLaw31 if you want to check me out there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm out in 3, 2, 1.